Welcome to Fact Crypt, where we uncover the darkest mysteries, chilling crimes, and unresolved enigmas from history. Today, we dive into one of the most perplexing unsolved serial killer cases of all time, the Zodiac Killer. From the late 1960s to the early 1970s, a shadowy figure known only as the Zodiac terrorized Northern California, leaving behind a trail of victims, cryptic letters, and ciphers that taunted law enforcement and the public alike. Despite the intense manhunt and decades of investigation, the Zodiac Killer was never caught, and his true identity remains a haunting enigma to this day. In this video, we'll explore the timeline of the murders, analyze the infamous ciphers, and examine the prime suspects, all while trying to answer the question that has plagued investigators for over 50 years: who was the Zodiac Killer? The Zodiac's reign of terror began on December 20, 1968, with the brutal murder of two teenagers, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, on a quiet lover's lane in Vallejo, California. The couple was sitting in their car when they were ambushed by an unknown assailant. Betty Lou was shot 5 times as she tried to flee, while David was shot in the head at close range. There was no robbery, no clear motive, just cold-blooded murder. 6 months later, on July 4, 1969, another young couple, Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau, were attacked in a similar manner. They were sitting in their car when a man approached and fired into the vehicle, killing Darlene and severely injuring Michael, who would later provide a description of the shooter. It was after this attack that the Zodiac first revealed himself to the world. Shortly after the Ferrin-Mageau attack, the Zodiac began sending a series of cryptic letters to local newspapers, including the San Francisco Chronicle and Vallejo Times-Herald. In his letters, he took credit for the murders, demanded that the letters be published on the front page, and included a cipher that he claimed would reveal his identity. The letters were taunting, full of arrogance and confidence, as if the killer believed he was untouchable. One of the most famous symbols of the Zodiac case, the crosshair symbol, was included in these letters, a signature that would become synonymous with the killer. 3 different ciphers were sent to newspapers, and within a few weeks, one of them was cracked by a schoolteacher and his wife. However, the decrypted message didn't reveal the Zodiac's identity as promised. Instead, it contained chilling lines that echoed his desire to kill. "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all." The Zodiac's letters continued to roll in over the years, each more disturbing than the last. He taunted the police for their inability to catch him and even threatened to bomb school buses full of children. But despite the bravado in his letters, his true identity remained hidden. On September 27, 1969, the Zodiac struck again. This time, his victims were Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, a young couple picnicking near Lake Berryessa. The attack was different from the previous ones. The Zodiac approached the couple wearing a bizarre hooded costume with his signature crosshair symbol on the chest. He tied them up, stabbed them repeatedly, and then calmly left the scene, only to call the police later to report the crime himself. Brian Hartnell survived the attack, but Cecilia Shepard tragically succumbed to her injuries. Hartnell's testimony provided valuable insight into the Zodiac's demeanor: methodical, cold, and utterly remorseless. Less than 2 weeks later, the Zodiac claimed another victim in San Francisco, a cab driver named Paul Stein. This murder differed from the others in that it took place in the heart of a busy city, and the Zodiac shot Stein point-blank in the head before taking his wallet and keys. It was also the first time the Zodiac was seen fleeing the scene by witnesses, though this would still not be enough to lead to his capture. One of the most baffling aspects of the Zodiac case was the series of cryptograms he sent to the media. While one cipher was cracked early on, 2 others remained unsolved for decades. The Zodiac seemed to delight in his ability to confuse law enforcement and the public, sending puzzles that many believed contained the key to his identity. It wasn't until December 2020 that an international team of codebreakers finally cracked the infamous 340-character cipher, 51 years after it was sent. The message was chilling but ultimately revealed little about the killer's identity. "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show," which brings up a point about me. "I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner." Despite this breakthrough, the Zodiac's true name remains a mystery. Over the years, many suspects have been considered, and countless theories have been proposed about the Zodiac's identity. Some of the most notable suspects include Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester. Allen was considered the prime suspect for many years. He matched several aspects of the Zodiac's description and had been linked to several key locations in the case. However, DNA evidence and fingerprint analysis have failed to definitively tie him to the crimes. Lawrence Kane, a man with a history of violence and mental instability. Kane was a suspect based on circumstantial evidence and witness statements. Some even believe that his handwriting matched the Zodiac's letters, though this has never been confirmed. Richard Gaikowski, a journalist whose work brought him into the Zodiac's orbit. Gaikowski's behavior and background made him a person of interest. His appearance was similar to the composite sketches of the killer, but like other suspects, nothing conclusive tied him to the murders. Despite these leads, the Zodiac case remains unsolved. The killer was never caught, and the case officially remains open in the eyes of the FBI and local law enforcement. The Zodiac Killer's impact on popular culture has been profound. His cryptic letters, eerie symbols, and taunting nature have inspired countless books, films, and documentaries. To this day, amateur sleuths and professional investigators alike continue to pore over the evidence, hoping to finally unmask the man who terrorized Northern California in the 1960s and 1970s. The Zodiac's legacy is not just one of murder and fear, but of mystery, a chilling reminder of how someone can taunt and evade law enforcement for decades. With modern technology, such as DNA and forensic genealogy, there remains hope that one day the Zodiac Killer will finally be unmasked, and the families of the victims will receive the closure they deserve. The Zodiac Killer remains one of the most enigmatic and terrifying figures in American crime history. His reign of terror in the 1960s and 1970s, his cryptic letters and ciphers, and his ability to vanish without a trace have kept investigators and true crime enthusiasts fascinated for over 50 years. Will we ever know who the Zodiac was? Could new technology bring us closer to solving this enduring mystery? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching Fact Crypt. If you found this deep dive into the Zodiac Killer case intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos exploring the world's most unsolved mysteries and chilling crimes.